So hello everyone, and thank you for attending Northwestern Medicine's virtual job fair event. I'm going to introduce you to Erin, and she's going to tell you a little bit about their company and the job openings and how to apply for those openings. So I'm going to pass it off to you, Erin.
Okay, excellent. Okay, were you going to put on the slideshow?
Yep, here we go.
Okay, excellent. All right, so we can advance the slide one more. All right, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Erin Cohen. I'm one of the recruitment managers for Northwestern Medicine, and I'm also here with Jan Fleury. Jan, you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi, I'm Jan Fleury. I'm one of the talent acquisition professionals.
All right. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for attending. So really quickly, we'll just give a quick overview of Northwestern Medicine, the hospitals and jobs in DuPage County. We do have hospitals in multiple counties in the Illinois area. Some tips for a successful video interview. So we have moved all of our our interviews that used to be in person to a virtual through COVID. And then also we'll share a link to how to apply. It's going to be a general information where you can just upload your resume and information. And based on your background and some of the jobs that you're interested in, we'll have a recruiter reach out to you to answer any questions that you may have and make sure you're applying to the correct requisition that matches your interest. And then we'll brief through that really quickly and then open it up to you guys to ask us questions about what it's like to work here, what types of roles, anything that you can think of, we're happy to answer them. So Ariel, you can advance to the next slide. Perfect. This is just a pretty picture of downtown Chicago and just give some information about Northwestern Medicine. So number one in Illinois and Chicago. And we do donate a lot of money, provide a lot of money to research for the Chicago area. Let's read just this picture, so I would like to share it. So you can advance to the next slide, Ariel, please. So our values. So our four main pillars of values are patient first, integrity, teamwork, and excellence. So really from a recruitment standpoint, these are the things when we are interviewing candidates for roles, those are the things as recruiters, we're really looking to make sure that your values match up to our company's, our organization's values. So for patients first, it's putting patients first in all we do. So really looking for candidates, if it's clinical or non-clinical roles, of putting patients first, putting customers first. Integrity, of course, approaching everything ethically. Teamwork. In healthcare, you're constantly working in a team. I can't think of one role at Northwestern Medicine where you are in an individual role where you're not contributing to an overall team. And really excellence, and what we mean by that is really striving every day to do the best that we can and find areas that where we can improve upon. So those are our values, and Ariel can move on to the next slide. Chance. All right, so we really wanted to focus on the hospitals and job openings in DuPage County. So the two hospitals that we have are CDH in Winfield, and then Marion Joy Rehab Hospital in Wheaton. So some of the job openings that we wanted to highlight is we are currently recruiting for CMAs, certified medical assistants, patient care techs, registered nurse, respiratory therapy, EVS, which is janitorial services, and cook. There's other ones that we are recruiting for. We can touch upon later if you have questions at the various locations. So we have, even through this pandemic, we have been hiring this whole entire time. It's just how we do it is a little bit different, being virtual and trying to avoid that, close contact with each other. And slide the next. All right, employee benefits. So we have medical, health, dental, vision, 401k, PTO, and so much more. So all of our employees that are full-time and part-time are benefited. So we have a robust benefit package. Slide along. All right. So like I'd mentioned, we have moved to a virtual world, a virtual format. So some of the tips that we have for a successful video interview is making sure your resume is up to date and includes all the relevant work experience for the job that you're applying to. For a video interview platform, even though you're not going to the office, make sure that you dress professionally. You're only seeing this, so just a suit jacket would be perfect. No need to wear a full suit, or even just a nice blouse would be, what would be ideal for interview. Make sure, just like before an in-person interview, nothing's really changed. Just make sure that you've researched the company. So, no matter where you're applying, what their values are, as much as you can to just, talk about with the hiring manager and the recruiter. Find a quiet, private, well-lit place. I know I have little kids, so I have shooed them out of the house for this so that it's a quiet background. I'm not having kids running in the background. Even though I find it adorable when I'm interviewing people, I know it would make me personally distracted. Always show up to the video interview early. So we recommend 5 to 10 minutes early. Make sure that your audio is working, your microphone, and then also your video. So all those things are extremely important. And it just really, there's anxiety, when it comes to interviewing, no matter if it's in person and video. The more time you give yourself just to collect yourself before the video is the best. While you're on the video interview and the hiring manager or recruiter is talking, still these social cues of smiling and nodding are extremely important. So making sure that you're engaged. We can see you through the video, so making sure that you're acknowledging what they're saying. And then also, make sure your passions be engaged during the video interview. Move on to the next slide. All right. So this is how we recommend that you apply. So this link is what you can use on your browser. It's going to take you directly to our ATS system. So you'll be able to upload your resume, enter in just some information, your name, how you want us to contact you. So probably tomorrow, Jan and I will go through and see who has submitted their information and make sure that a recruiter reaches out to you to discuss your background and what roles that we have that might be a good fit for your background. So highly encourage you to jot this down, and we can send this out after to the group just so you have this link. It would only take you, I went through it and tested it. It's like 2 or 3 minutes to input your information. So it's not a formal long application. So the next slide. All right, so this is the part that Jen, I'm going to open it up to ask Jan and myself any questions about Northwestern Medicine, what it's like to work here, anything that you can think of. We want to really spend most of the time answering questions that you may have for us.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can.
I was wondering, does Northwestern use an applicant tracking system for the applications?
Yes,
Okay.
we do.
We do. I'll let Jan answer to that.
Yes, we do. And then you can see all the positions throughout the organization, and you can narrow down on the website what location you're interested in. So it's very user-friendly.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Can you tell me a little bit about the occupational therapy departments at Northwestern? Or what it's like, the culture of the workplace, I guess, if you can't speak specifically to that.
Jan, have you recruited for the occupational therapy department?
Let me start off by saying there are roughly 30 recruiters that support the system.
Sure.
I am one of them.
Yeah.
I used to recruit for occupational health, but that was about 3 years ago. They have them at the clinics. They have them inpatient and outpatient. We have clinics all over Chicagoland, and then they are inpatient at the hospital as well.
Right.
Does that answer your question?
Sure. I mean, it was a very specific question in kind of a general format, so it's okay. I guess, could you tell me a little, I have a few friends who work there as occupational therapists, and they said that the culture is really, there's a lot of emphasis on professional development and
Correct.
continuing education and stuff like that. Would you say that's pretty accurate, or just wanted to know more about the culture of Northwestern?
Yes, especially out in the West region, that VP over that area is very, she's been in her position a long time. She's on the ball. She knows what she's doing. She keeps her team very focused, and they are a very focused and team-oriented group. Even among the different hospitals and among the different areas that they work in, she's very cohesive on that they work together as a team. And I'm sure that that has not changed because she is still over the leadership of that area.
And I can add a little bit to like the general, culture about education and continuing education. So we do provide tuition reimbursement to all of our employees. Full-time, it's $5,250 each year you get for professional development. We also partner with Aetna. So you can even receive deeper discounts with some of our educational partners through Aetna. Also, on the clinical side, even on the non-clinical side, you get $1,000 each year for professional development. Not being in a clinical role, I'm in human resources. Some of the ways that I've used that $1,000 each year is going to conferences. I know one I had scheduled for the summer was for campus recruitment, because that's one of my responsibilities that unfortunately got canceled due to COVID, but I was going to use that money to attend a conference in Seattle, and NM was going to pay for that conference and then save up to that $1,000. So there's a huge emphasis on education, continuing education, things that you can do just overall at NM. And I'm also going to add on to that too. So one of the really amazing things about working at Northwestern Medicine is, every industry was impacted by COVID. For us and all the healthcare systems across the country, surgery stopped, revenue was lost. One thing that really makes me proud, and I know a lot of my coworkers proud to work at NM, throughout this whole entire time, we did not furlough or low census any of our employees without pay. We really wanted to make sure that we preserve talent and not, lay off or, lose that talent that we already have. So felt really good to work for a company that didn't want to make a, tough decision and, lose any employees. So we remained whole throughout this whole entire pandemic.
That's great. Thank
Any
you.
other questions for Jan or myself?
We have one question that came into the chat, and it was, what types of background checks are performed, if any, or does it depend on the position?
So we do background checks. So that's part of our onboarding process. So once you are hired into a role, you move on to what we call onboarding. So with that, it's your drug screen, immunizations, background check, all of different paperwork. So we do provide, it's a 7-year background check. We do, obviously if there's something on a background check, we work with HR compliance that reviews the background check and the role that you'd be performing. So just because someone has, what we call a hit on your background or, a blemish on the background doesn't mean that we would not consider you for full-time or part-time employees. So it's definitely case-by-case basis should somebody have something on their background.
Okay, and then another question was, how quickly are the positions filled, or like how long is your hiring process typically?
I'll let Jan take that one.
That can all depend on the position. It can also depend on the manager. Some move quicker than others. That's just the way it is with their time schedule and time frame. Most of them, I would say, do want to fill their positions quickly, and the recruiters want them filled as well. But you know, a lot of it also has to do with applicant flow. If we get 100 applicants for one position, it may take a while because they want to interview 20 people. Or if it's a hard to fill position and they only get a couple really well qualified candidates, it could be a quick process. Also, the level of the position depends on how long they can take as well, because the more education required or the more clinical or non-clinical experience required for that position, there might be multiple interviews. In some cases, there is not multiple interviews, but I would say in most cases, there's at least 2 interviews.
And Jan, do you mind sharing what the 2 interviews, like what format
So,
they're in?
So the 2 typical ones is first you would interview with the hiring manager. And then the second one is that they have a core of employees that have gone through some training for interviewing. They are called a peer team. And we feel it's a very effective team. We want that the team buys in that this is the correct candidate. And it also gives the candidate the opportunity to ask questions of that peer team. What is it really like to work within that group? What's the teamwork like? What's the leadership like? What's the support that you get? So it not only benefits the hiring team, it benefits you as the candidate in that you're making a selection as well. I have had positions that have had up to 4 interviews. Sometimes a manager, a director, and a VP, and then a peer interview are all involved. But once again, those are the higher level positions where they're looking for years of experience to really qualify that person.
And then what are some of the benefits offered?
So
we have a full benefit. Oh, go ahead, Jan.
Go on. We have a full benefit package.
You go for it. Yeah.
Okay. We do have 3 different health plans to choose from, 2 different dental levels, 2 different vision levels to choose from. We do have a what is it called? Erin, help me. Where you have a fund each year that you can purchase things for healthy work life. So you can purchase gym shoes. You can join a gym or help pay for a membership. You can buy a bike. So that's a nice thing that we have as well. Then we do have pet insurance that you can buy through us. We have PTO. It is tiered according to how many years you're with us, but you start to accrue immediately. You're not able to use it for the first 90 days, but then after that, you've already have some accrued in your bank, so to speak. You have access to seeing your paycheck before you get your paycheck, seeing what amounts of PTO you have in your bank. We have a 401k that matches. We do use Fidelity for that. So I think we have a nice array of benefits. Plus, Erin said the tuition reimbursement, and the nurses have tuition forgiveness as well.
And we also have a bonus. It's our incentive plan. So every single employee, even our casual employees, are incentivized. And it's an overall goal. It's by locale. So it's really, no matter what roles you are in, it's driving our main goals. So, patient satisfaction, that is something, if you've ever been to the doctor and after you leave, you get that survey. Those are things that matter. And we make sure that we're performing, that we are providing great, patient care to our main, patients, and making sure that they're happy and they would recommend. Those are things that go into the incentive plan to make sure no matter what role you are in, clinical, non-clinical, we're really all striving to the same purpose. And that gets paid out every fall. It usually happens right around Thanksgiving. So I know all the employees get excited, a little bit of extra money to spend over the holidays, buy people presents or throw a party. So we really enjoy, and we do very well year over year with our incentive plan.
Okay, and then we also have a couple more questions coming in. What company is the health insurance through? And is it possible for part-time workers to qualify for benefits, or how many hours does it take for you to qualify for the benefits?
So we use Aetna. One thing to also mention with our benefits, Aetna, the way we have our benefits set up is anything NM is 100% covered once you reach your deductible. So there's the 3 different plans that Jan mentioned. So there's the low deductible, high deductible plan. I'm missing one of them. Like, I know the low deductible one, unfortunately, about a year ago, I broke my ankle and had to have surgery. So I went to CDH, got my surgery, you know, physical therapy. All I paid for the surgery and all those doctor's appointments was $350. So I met my deductible at $350, and then that was it for the year. I didn't want to break anything else, but I knew if I did need to see any, you know, care or anything like that, that I was capped out. So really great benefits through Aetna. And I think I missed the other question, or the other part of the question.
Is it possible for part-time workers to qualify for the benefits, or how many hours does it take to qualify?
Yes, part-time. Jan, you might know this one since you hire, I think, more, you know, part-time.
Anything over 20 hours. So the part-time positions would be 20 hours, and then those are benefit eligible.
Okay, great. I don't have any more questions in the chat. So if you have any last-minute questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. Jan or Erin, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you. I know this digital world is so brand new, and thank you for, you know, coming, and please, you know, that link that was embedded in the PowerPoint presentation, if you're interested in, you know, talking to a recruiter one-on-one that recruits in the areas of interest, please, you know, sign up, and we will be monitoring that, and then having a recruiter reach out to you.
Yeah, so yeah, thank you for everyone who attended and the presenters today. Thank you very much. This webinar was recorded, and we are going to be posting it on their employer booth, and it'll be on the YouTube channel as well. So you can visit Illinois WorkNet and go to Northwestern Medicine's employer booth, and the video will be up there, and you can see all of their other information there as well. So thank you, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.